astrology, and other divinatory arts are not a replacement or substitute for physical or psychiatric health care. If this is an emergency situation or you are in crisis, please do not defer your wellness to readings or horoscopes. Seek situation-appropriate, qualified assistance instead. Hi there, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your weekly tarot forecast for the week starting July 17th, 2022. And just a quick reminder, if you are watching your rising sign forecast, remember your rising sign is giving you additional clarity as to how a great deal of your sun sign forecast is showing up, and your moon sign is showing you the less prominent, albeit still significant side story that's also playing out throughout the course of the week. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. This week, the big spiritual theme of the big focus is the Four of Swords, upright. And so this week, for the most part, is actually not all about you. In fact, a lot of this week, Libra people, you are going to find that it's a very hands-off kind of week because it's about a time for your environment and the people around you and everything that you've been working on to get current, where things may have fallen behind or fallen into a bit of decline where they can still regenerate and catch up. This, however, does also really bring into focus for you Libra people, or I should say we Libra people, since I am a Libra rising, that this is also a time for us to get current with things that we have fallen behind with. Now, whether these are practical matters, financial matters, or maybe our studies, or if there's a part of us that is stuck in, a year past, so to speak, it's like a mentality or a habit or an education or a discipline that is out of date. This week is all about bringing everything current, and it has to get current if it's going to, do the best for us. A lot of the times with the Four of Swords, this is a time where, did I say Four of Wands? Because I meant to say Four of Swords. With the Four of Swords, there is a focus on recovery and recuperation and setting things right where they have been running on fumes or operating at a deficit for some time. But that does also mean, again, allowing ourselves and our environment and our connections to change and get current as well, especially if things are operating out of date. When it comes to material circumstances, work, job, finances, practical affairs as it relates to home and family, we've got the Five of Wands upright. And with the Five of Wands, this week could feel still pretty hectic on the money front and on the job front. Because with the Five of Wands, there's a tremendous amount of demanding activity that comes from a lot of people and a lot of prospects and a lot of opportunities competing for our attention, competing for our time, and competing for our investment, which can sometimes be a good problem to have. However, you are going to want to make sure that if there is something that you need to be more competitive with yourself, you know how to throw your weight around, because you may have to advocate for yourself during this time, advocate for that raise, advocate for that promotion, advocate for that attention, right? That space in the market, that space in the professional world, or that money, whatever it is that you are looking to have. Because the Five of Wands is creating a very tumultuous, but also a very stimulating opportunity for you to attain a desire that you have to fight a little bit harder for. Options that are also being presented to you at this time will be competing with each other for you, which again can also be a good problem to have, but you're going to want to be discerning because, well, not everything is as good as it looks, right? And all that glitters is not gold. And sometimes with the Five of Wands, it's a warning against, judging something based on appearances, because some things are really good at marketing themselves, and yet at the same time, what they're marketing isn't worth shit. And we see a lot of that with social media, right? Followers, likes, or just branding itself. That's all superficial. That's all glamour. That's all part of the illusion. Some people love that part of it because that's where they are. But you want to make sure you don't get duped by anything. Give everything a chance to show its true quality. Ask for depth before you commit to any of these offers that are coming your way. When it comes to your community, friends, relatives, other people in your life, you do have the Ten of Cups reversed. And there may be some weird news coming your way when it comes to a situation where a friend or a relative and their story or their narrative is getting clarified in such a way where it changes the way we might relate to them or the history that we have with them. Because the Ten of Cups reversed can also be a card that shows up where half the story has somehow become the whole narrative, and now we are getting the rest. Sometimes I refer to this as a bit of the Stepford card, something that looks perfect on the outside to overcompensate for something that's been going on the inside. For some of you, this may be something that is a reveal going on with a friend or with a relative or an ally. And again, this is a platonic space. This does not relate to relationships in terms of romance, but a friend or a relative or a group, so to speak. And with the Ten of Cups reversed, some of you who don't have that experience may find out that there has been some revisionist history or some lies by omission in a certain family, group, or friendship dynamic that need to come out. When it comes to your challenge this week, we do have the Queen of Swords upright. This is you, Libra. And your biggest challenge with the Queen of Swords is exercising discernment, really paying attention to where you need to stop giving too many chances to BS, and also focusing on where depth, where quality, and where merit really belong. Sometimes this can show up as a challenge where you have to be the Queen of Swords, which is exactly what I think is going on here, where we have to stop giving favorable treatment or preferential treatment, and we also need to stop buying into lies we know are lies for the sake of others. Sometimes this can show up as well where we need to learn to ask tougher questions, and we have to take emotions out of the equation when we are doing investigating for our own good on behalf of ourselves, on behalf of our jobs, as we saw with the Five of Wands, or on behalf of our friends and family. Some of you may also need to cut things off where you have been too indulgent, too permissive, or maybe just a little bit too generous and merciful because you know you're throwing too many bones out there. Time to hold on to some of your bones. When it comes to your relationships with love, romance, and partnerships, we do have the Page of Cups upright. And with the Page of Cups upright, this is a week where a lot of you Libra people may be finding that partners, partner potentials, and new people are a lot more generous, a lot more outgoing, a lot more demonstrative when it comes to an attraction to you. And it may even catch you a bit off guard because the Page of Cups can be a lot more intense when it comes to showing off or trying to win romantic attention or give romantic attention. And if that's not something that you're used to receiving, or that's not usually the way you and a partner relate to each other, it may seem a little bit out of character, but the Page of Cups is upright. This is genuine. This is real. And so it is something that if you're interested in exploring and expanding and encouraging, you need to be open about your encouragement with. The Page of Cups can indicate here you may be actually getting courted, some of you single or available Libra people. You may be finding that somebody recent that you've been seeing is showing a much more tender side to themselves and presenting a love language they have not presented yet, which could be very stimulating and very refreshing. And for some of you who are married or currently coupled, the Page of Cups upright is indicating a lot more sentimentality coming through a partner, but also a desire to become more romantically adventurous than they have been in recent history. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.